and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
I'm looking at my son who's 24 years old.
When I step outside, I automatically check rooftops to see if there's a sniper.
Why didn't he check the roof? I don't know.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mikey McCoy.
I know they have a limited detail.
I had the unique honor, blessing, and privilege of a lifetime to not only call Charlie a precious friend, mentor, but to travel with him literally everywhere.
Mikey and Justin were close to him and plan of succession. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm not privy to it. I want my son to succeed.
But this second close friend of Charlie chose to run just a few yards away up to a grassy knoll.
They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie.
With this conspiracy, get over yourself. Dan is a believer. I love that man.
He's dead.
First time I met Charlie was when I was driving him and his then girlfriend Erica to the airport after he had spoken at my father's church.
And I'm watching, the minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray. He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him. And
I saw Charlie Kirk get shot. He slapped. I saw Charlie Kirk get shot.
My friend was martyred for using his voice to engage in peaceful dialogue. Charlie's assassin thought that he could steal and silence his voice by putting a bullet in his neck.
Now's the time to make that choice. Either you sit on the sidelines. I mean, I don't know what else can wake you up. If you're looking for another sign, I have no idea what to tell you.
Down his shirt, and he slumped over and he was carried off.
The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule has just begun.
I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically. Being on campus right now for me is a spiritual reclaiming of territory.
Yeah, a lot has been going on in the past week. I think the last time I was here was on Thursday, and things have just been rolling out. And I think at this point, anyone that is not disturbed by people at Turning Point proclaiming that Charlie Kirk was silenced because of his faith, if you are not creeped out by that, you are complicit. Because if something like this happened to somebody that I knew, I would not be saying that when the evidence does not support that, right? And it's just so bizarre. It's so bizarre. It's like nobody cares. Nobody cares about what happened. They just care about being able to use it to get more donations and to restructure that organization. One key thing that we did see was that the Wikipedia page was updated 36 hours after Charlie Kirk's death to say that Rob McCoy, the pastor that you heard on there, Mikey McCoy's father, was the co-founder of Turning Point USA Faith. Now, I never looked this up prior to Charlie Kirk's death, so I have no idea. But I do know that I did read about TPUSA Faith. I think it was established around 2021. There was no mention of the McCoy originally, but maybe, I don't know, someone rushed in there 36 hours after his death to update the Wikipedia. So apparently, like, you know, he had a succession plan, right? And nobody knows what it was. And, his wife was out there from the pulpit behind his podcast chair and mic telling people to sign up for Turning Point USA. I mean, this is so beyond anything that, in my lifetime that I've ever seen, where it's just so fake. I don't know what else to call it. Like, there's just every part of this just seems fake. And not to say that Charlie Kirk didn't die. I believe that he died, I guess. There is some speculation about that, but when you put all the pieces together and you think about, like, what could this mean, right? It could just be that there was a lone gunman on a roof that had a problem with Charlie Kirk. He beat him in a debate. He humiliated him. He talked bad about his furry girlfriend. It could be that. It could be that. But if it were that, we would not see this stream of information that points elsewhere, right? Typically, in a case, this is just so wild because I feel like there is misinformation. I even feel like some of the stuff that some of the the investigators that are still allowed to investigate, I'm barely allowed. Like, I've had 3 TikTok accounts banned. I am definitely shadow banned on everywhere. So my voice has already been silenced. But the people that are allowed to keep speaking on this, which is Candace Owens, there's a handful of YouTubers that are allowed to keep speaking on this, and they're going every which way except for where the evidence leads. And it's frustrating. It could be that there's danger there, but for the most part, there's just so many different elements to this that nothing really supports the lone gunman theory. Nothing supports that because the 30-06 that was found did not just land peacefully in his neck and didn't go through the other side. Like, it's just not really a thing. 30-06 is a big hunting rifle to take down a moose, an elk. And if it does come in contact with a neck, that neck is gone. We did not see a lot of damage. We did not see fleshy pieces flying everywhere. We just saw nothing. We saw blood squirting. But we didn't see major fleshy damage either. The way that his shirt's popping up, the way that Mikey McCoy reacts, the way that the other, I don't even know who the other guy's name is, the one that went up behind and recorded himself. I kind of question. I think like this was super suspicious to me, and I was thinking about it, and I wonder what you guys think. Yeah, that we're being silenced for sure. Like, I was talking to a friend today and tried to send him a video on Messenger, and none of my videos are going through anymore. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not even pointing fingers anywhere. I'm just like helping people use their brain and use common sense, because this does not make any sense. And nothing makes sense in this, and it's bizarre. It is so bizarre. So what I've noticed, so Candace Owens today was talking about the Egyptian. There was an Egyptian plane that landed in Provo at 7:04, I believe, and she has a source that she's very confident in, and I think I can bring up a visual. She's very confident in this source that has information about what was on the flight or whatever. And apparently there was Egyptian military subcontractors on that flight, and they got off in Provo, Utah. It's kind of weird. And this is the path of, I think it's this Egyptian flight, or maybe it's this specific plane, just showing like how many times it's been to, like what kind of trips it takes. And if you notice, it doesn't take a lot of trips. And all of these cities that it lands in are where we have military base, except for Provo, Utah. Provo, Utah is the only one. But it does seem to like to go there. Now, Provo, Utah in general is where we recruit for the CIA. It's like one of our top picks. It's where, and the reason, because Mormons do missionary work, they learn different languages, they go to different countries. Those are the perfect people to join the CIA. They already have a reason to be in these other countries. Like, those are the perfect people to hire into the CIA. And that is why Utah is the number one place to recruit. Not just Utah, but Arizona, Idaho, that whole belt right there. And, why would an Egyptian plane need to land in the middle of Utah? I don't know. Maybe they had a secret mission. I mean, not the reason, but if you think about whatever, people wanted to take care of Charlie Kirk, whoever, we don't know who. But to do it in this way, in a crowd, typically it would be like a nut with a gun, right? Because that nut with a gun does not know his address, does not know other ways of doing things. But if it were a secret military operation, they have a million different ways of doing this. It was done publicly in front of thousands of people for a reason. It was the certain pictures or the certain videos were pushed out on social media without any kind of warning. It was the first thing that you saw when you opened the app. Not normal. We usually have stuff like that censored. So they wanted us to see it. They wanted us to see this. They wanted us to react. I believe that the flight had already left at 7 a.m. that morning. So that wouldn't be the way that they left, but it could have been the way that they arrived. And this is where I'm coming to the point where I'm like, is this like these investigators, the ones that are allowed to investigate, which is only people that are, there's only certain people that are allowed. A lot of people are getting banned. But are they controlled opposition? Are they only allowed to say certain things, right? Are they only allowed to talk about stuff that's going to be disproven or easily disproven later? Because my inclination, the immediate inclination when I saw this was that it was an inside job. Just the way, and I don't know what it was, but I just spiritually had that feeling. I don't know what it was specifically. Maybe it was the guy touching the hat. Maybe it was like people doing hand signals. I don't know, but I just felt it just seemed too controlled or something. And especially seeing Mikey McCoy's reaction. And I don't even know, maybe I did see that before and I didn't recognize, I didn't know who he was. But seeing that reaction where he basically has his arms crossed, the shot rings out and he's immediately turning with the phone up to his ear and then just saunters off. I mean, this was the first minute or two. The problem is that there are two people saying that he called them in that minute. Erica Kirk said that she got the call at 12:23, which is the exact time that Charlie Kirk was shot. We know that the camera on the roof that caught the guy in the roof said that at 12:22, that's when he got up and ran into position, took the shot at 12:23 in 20 seconds or something, and then ran off. So Erica Kirk is saying that she got the phone call at 12:23. I think it's 11:23 her time. And, she must have had that call. So Mikey was calling her, and she said Mikey was screaming. He didn't look like he was screaming when we saw him just like casually walking away on the phone. And so within that 40 seconds before 12:23 ended, she got that call. And was she the second call? Was she the first call? Did she just get a call that said, it's done? And then did he hang up and call his father and say, it's done? Like, I don't know. But the way that this stuff is going down, I think it's time to move on. We don't even have a baseline of facts here. What do you mean it's time to move on? If his company that he built, if the people under him overthrew him by killing him, it's not time to move on. It's time to take that company down. I mean, that is pure evil if that's what transpired here. And you would never want a company like that to succeed, especially when their entire thing is putting out stuff into the brains of young people. And it is crazy. It is crazy. But let's look at how. So, all right. So we have the Mikey controversy, Mikey McCoy controversy. I feel like this is like, even with Candace Owens, I think she talked about it for one day and then kind of moved on. But I feel like this is not to say that I just can tell that these people knew something. So like, they're not acting right, especially that guy. I mean, both of them. So Mikey McCoy saunters off. There's some excuses where a lot of people put their hands over their ears and like kind of duck their head. He didn't really duck down. And he looked casual and just was walking straight. He didn't look panicked. Like, I feel like I'd be moving kind of, in a way where not a predictable way so that I'm not going to catch a bullet, And he didn't seem to be worried about that at all. So if we talk about that guy, so this is my theory about this guy. I want to try to find him. Where is it? I can just stop him on this video. But the guy gets up and he goes on the thing, like, he goes behind the wall and then he takes a video of himself saying, oh my God, they just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. And then he is kind of pans to the crowd a little bit. And then he's standing against the wall. And then he says, Charlie's dead. That's the part that like was bothering me for days, just because how would he know that? Like, him and Mikey ran out of the area before he even hit the ground. But I do think that they were all wearing meta glasses. I think that the people that got down on the ground with Charlie, I saw him turn his meta glasses on. So I think that maybe he was watching them. I don't know. I just don't think that their reactions are correct. It doesn't seem right. And for them to keep pushing this like nonsense about, oh, it's the evildoers that did it. Like, who are the evildoers? It's the people in your own house. Like, you guys are the evildoers. So maybe you need to chill out. Maybe you need to find the real Jesus, because I don't think Jesus was pulling any false flag operations over there, trying to get attention, trying to manipulate people into joining your cult. Like, I don't think Jesus did any of that. He only had 12 followers. Like, right? 12 followers. Like, TPUSA has how many? How many? A lot. So there's that whole situation. So the security guy did kind of smile for us. Like, that's the thing that I don't get. So when we talk about, even if this was staged, you know, whether, unless he's alive, that's the only way that I would say that people still would be nervous, though. I feel like people would still be shaking, people would still be panicked, but they all seem to know. Nobody seemed too surprised. I mean, some of the security guards did seem surprised. They do look genuinely concerned, but some of them not so much. So what does that mean? I mean, it means that he had threats coming in. He probably had threats coming in all the time, but then they, let a guy get on the roof? It could be an inside job. I mean, here's the thing, though. So if it was an inside job about those files, I mean, from my perspective, if I was, you know, one of Charlie's bros and he was getting threats, I'd be like, yes, let's plan your death. And then we can still push for the same thing that you were pushing for before, to release those files, right? And have more of a reason behind it, and you can't be blamed for it. I don't know. But I feel like we're living in, like, it's just insane. It's insane that it's, like, so brazen. Like, most of their actions are so brazen that it's almost nonsensical. Like, for the pastor to be getting on the stage and making up complete lies to the congregation, saying, oh yeah, my son was covered in blood and he was, like, going this way and directing, and he was a hero that day. No, he wasn't. He walked away like he didn't even know who Charlie was. He walked away like he was leaving his garbage at a baseball game, right? He walked away like, oh, I don't know him. And maybe he did jump into action after calling these people, but I just don't think he had enough information to be calling people. He didn't respond. He didn't react. He didn't look. He didn't even look. And so for him not to even look and to be able to call Erica Kirk within the same minute to tell her, it doesn't make sense. It makes zero sense. And then the guy that's saying, oh, Charlie's dead. Like, when he said Charlie's dead, and it seems like they already had this whole plan in place where they were going to play the martyr thing, sell the sweatshirts, have this revival, and I don't know. It's just so sick. If it's true what we're seeing, which it seems like it is, it's sick. It is sick. It's some crazy, crazy stuff. Let's see which.
This is what Turning Point USA is all about. This is what the future of our country is all about. And I want to thank you all.
Excuse me?
You guys have.
This is what the future of our country is all about. Excuse me? Like, what?
No idea how helpful it is to have all of you in my life, because you help me feel even more deeply connected to my husband. And I thank you for that. I thank all of you for that. That was a pulse point for him. And being on campus right now for me is a spiritual reclaiming of territory.
She's reclaiming her territory, y'all. So I honestly, if you could trim it down to like a really, really simple motive that maybe nobody thought of. Erica Kirk loved her Instagram. She loved being glammed up on Instagram. In fact, their wedding only has one picture when they're both glammed up, like they were just doing a photo shoot, not like they're actually having a wedding. You know, I don't even know if they're married. I don't even know if they're real. Like, it's just so bizarre because was she the influencer that was like in the background when she wanted the attention and she couldn't get it because Charlie was in the way? And now you would never know that she had kids, right? And that she was all about being a traditional wife. I mean, nothing in her life has ever supported that. She was doing pageants. She was running a charity. Her parents worked. Her mother worked for a defense contractor. And, you know, she only became a trad wife when she married a man that was 5 years younger, that was up and coming, that was making money, that had Turning Point USA. And then suddenly she was preaching she wanted to be a trad wife. Or that's what women are supposed to do. They're supposed to just serve their husbands. And as soon as her husband is gone, she's basically taken over the company, doing nothing that a traditional wife would do. And that's what she preached. That's what they were both preaching about. It was all about submitting to your husband. And I don't know if she really believes any of that at all. It's a clip of her talking about submission. If I can find it. It might be this one. Nope, that's not it. Oh, let's talk about the response of the Charlie Kirk show.
In, he turns and he, like I'm telling you, Mikey that day turned into a
So this was a response to, I think this was posted on Monday. It was after the weekend that video went viral of Mikey in the back corner of the tent that just got up, got on the phone and walked away. And Mikey has been on the Charlie Kirk show typically, like a lot since Charlie's death, but he hasn't been on there this week. And so this is the Turning Point crew trying to make you feel guilty if you have any questions about what he did that day, because you should not question anything, no matter how crazy it looks, because people grieve different and it's not right to question how people grieve, okay?
General on a field, marshaling the troops going, but like for a second there, obviously he didn't know what to do. And then he clicked into gear eventually. It was amazing.
Mikey was a heroic figure on that day. And I really want anyone who finds like these narratives attacking him to be remotely credible to really, really stop and think about what you are doing, because what you are doing is bad and it is gross and it is a choice, and it's a choice you shouldn't make.
Jeez. I guess we're just gross because we have common sense and we know that ain't right. What we saw was not right. But that's just gross, right? You're not allowed to talk about that. You're not allowed to say that because Mikey's father is a pastor, and that's all you need to know, right? Don't question him. Who the hell are you? You don't know what you would do in that situation.
They consider kids to being
a nuisance,
a burden,
a nuisance. But no, it's me. But also too, you have to.
Men should look for women that are willing to submit, which is basically a non-feminist woman.
Right. But the whole topic of submission becomes That word really lights people on fire.
I know. It's biblical.
I know. They will literally love you and honor you and cherish you above all, and put all the noise aside and focus on wife, children, family.
Daisy says there were quite a number of questions on submission, so
Okay.
dive more into that.
Okay. I love that you are such a... You are so...
She had to roll her eyes to like think of something nice to say about him. I mean, this whole interaction with them doesn't seem right.
So intentional with your faith, and you are so intentional with just how you are as a father and a husband. I feel as if some women, after they have children, they lose that fire that they got at the altar. That fire.
Yeah, I think she lost her fire. She's talking about herself, and she got it back. She got it back by letting Turning Point kill her husband.
To be able to have people have a show where they can ask questions. Hey, I'm up against this. What would Charlie say? And we play a clip of what Charlie said a month ago.
She's like so excited that she's still going to be able to use his voice to answer people's questions. Like, it's just so bizarre.
A year ago, we have decades worth of my husband's voice, We have unused material from speeches that he's had that no one has heard yet. We have Sunday specials lined up to the brim because my husband was so intentional about making sure there was enough content. Always. That's not fun. There's enough content. Always. Turning Point USA is continuing, and it is. I mean, we are so blessed to have more work than we even could ever dream of. Full steam ahead. I was there from the beginning of all of it. We have stuff from Korea and Japan that no one's heard of.
Podcasts.
So, I mean, in the words of my husband, buckle up.
I don't know. I don't know. And then she's saying it's a commissioning. This isn't a ceremony. It's a commissioning. Like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, really?
We had a birth plan, and the only thing that went to plan on that birth plan was that we had a child.
That's right.
Everything else
We had a great
went out the window.
We had a great OB. May he rest in peace. Terrible story.
So sad.
So their OB, may he rest in peace. I mean, this is the stuff that I'm talking about, and this is why I'm like, am I becoming full conspiracy person because of this case? Because, all right, first of all, their wedding, she says there was no bridesmaids, no groomsmen. The only reason we know that they were married is because of one Instagram photo, like some photoshopped, like where she looks totally different than what she actually looks like. And like, is that what we're dealing with here? Is like an influencer that was living in the shadow. She didn't want to be like submit. They were together because they were connected, and they actually didn't get along, or didn't jive right. I mean, were those really Charlie Kirk's kids? Like, do we ever hear one of them call him daddy? Or was he just like the uncle? Like this was all just a fake ass thing. I mean, I honestly question that, especially the things she can't remember her kid's birthday. She almost can't remember the kids' names. She doesn't know how many years she's been married. The one wedding picture is the Instagram photo. His parents look drastically different. You know, we haven't really seen his family. They haven't spoke out. They haven't said anything. And then their OBGYN died. So, like, do we even have evidence that she's ever even had kids? I mean, she is just, something ain't right. Something ain't right at all. And people want to just ignore it. I mean, I guess. I mean, I kind of want to ignore it in a way. I think it's very, I mean, the Mikey thing, I think that was very disturbing to me because he seems like a nice kid. And I'm just like, God damn, like, how evil is this enterprise if they're knocking off the leader? Everyone knows about it. and everyone's complicit and everyone's fine with lying. Like, are these people, I don't know. Like, I don't believe that Erica Kirk is actually even religious. Like, maybe she is, but I don't know. The things that she's saying, talking about evil all the time. What evil? What evil? I mean, I don't know. She was 30 when she married him. She was well past, like, when you think about like evangelical Christians or Mormons from that part of the country, from the, what do they call it? The Mormon corridor. Whether evangelical or Mormon, people are married at like 20 and starting to have kids. She was 30 from that area of the country and married a guy that was 25. She gave up the trad life. Like, she did not seek it out or something, because she was 30. She was 10 years older than most people got married at that age in that area of the country. So for her to then get with him and then be, when he was talking about submission and stuff, she didn't like it. She was uncomfortable. She wanted to argue. You could see it. I mean, that's why she did the speech at his funeral where she's like, your wife is not your slave. Your wife is, I mean, it's just so wild. Like, everything about this case is wild. Now, someone found a video of that guy that was like telling the kid to shut up, don't talk to the camera. And the funny thing is that most of the videos that we've seen, it's like to Charlie's left side. Like, that's the part that we want to see. We saw our kids up on the balcony. Like, there was a camera crew up there that was interviewing kids. So we saw footage from up there. But even that guy's footage, and there was a couple of them up there, it cuts out when the gun, like, he's filming from above, and then all of a sudden it cuts, and then everyone's running. And he said that the camera automatically stopped recording during the gunshot. That's not a thing, unless there's something. But then only certain cameras were allowed to keep recording. I don't know. So to me, it sounds like the feds or someone got to him and told him to take that part out of the video, to take out the gunshot. We know that someone came forward and said that the feds reached out to him and told him to delete the video of Charlie being shot. So all they got to do is tell the truth. Like, this, it's so easy for this to be over. They just need to tell the damn truth.
Can you keep it? Swear this one you say. Better lock it in your pocket. Taking this one to the grave. If I show you, then I know you won't tell what I said. 'Cause two can keep a secret is one.
And it's interesting too. So this guy that is silencing the other one, he actually went on Fox News that night and did an interview. So he was silencing other people, but then he went on Fox News and gave an interview. So it seems like only certain people are allowed to speak. Why? Unless it's a cover-up, right? Unless it's fake. Like, why? There's no reason that stuff needs to be hidden. And then we have the Turkey Tom video. I don't know if you guys have watched that, but I find it interesting, I guess. It's let's see if I grab the right video. So, the Turkey Tom video. Basically, Turkey Tom is saying someone reached out to him. It's a friend of Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs. And they provided this picture to prove that, they know them. To me, this picture doesn't prove shit. This picture proves that this is the neighbor across the street, because it looks like it's a second-story window. someone looking over across the street at their Lance Twiggs house getting searched by, I don't know, it doesn't even seem like there's cops cars there. Like there's a sheriff's truck. Wouldn't it be the feds that was searching him though? I don't know. So right away, this picture as evidence that he knows them doesn't work for me at all. Evidence that he knows them would be a picture of the person with them hanging out, doing something. So already this is weak. And like, what I can tell you about the Idaho 4 case is that there were people that came right out and made up stuff and kept people going on made up shit for months. There was that lady, WSU Kim mom, that said that, oh, everyone knew about the murders like hours before and they were all cleaning it up, all the sorority and all that. And people ran with that. I mean, personally, like I have common sense. So like from my perspective, if someone's mom knew about this, do you know how many videos and other things would be loose on the internet, like Snapchats or whatever? It wouldn't be the mom that is the one that's like calling it out. Like, absolutely not. And so like I always never believed that. And then there was another person that came forward that said he had a Snapchat, and then all his Snapchats were deleted. So there was a lot of people that just, I don't know what their motive is or what. There was also another person that came forward and said that they were a neighbor that saw the roommates outside hanging out, smoking cigarettes, like hours before the 911 call was made. So that person got caught because their camera actually turned on during a live that they were doing. And it turned out to be this person that always injects themselves in cases and makes shit up. So that's what this could be. But this could also be the feds or someone else on that side trying to push a narrative. And I'll show you what I mean when we get into some of the messages. So this is Lance saying that his parents thought he was possessed by a demon. Under 18. Now, I heard about this from an article, actually. There was an article, I don't remember which New York Times or what are New York Post, maybe, I don't know. But there was an article saying that a friend came forward and they said almost this exact comment. Basically, that the family was crazy and they thought he was possessed and they wanted to give him an exorcism and blah, blah, blah. And so it really makes me question whether they got that narrative from this comment, right? Whether there really wasn't a friend that came forward and they were just, piecing a story together based on his comments. It's weird. It's possible. So this one, so they really go into like on this Tom Turkey thing, they go into like how Lance Twiggs is like this schizophrenic, I don't know, like he's kind of like manic and then he calms down. He makes a nest in the living room, like addicts do stuff like that. So, I mean, it could be true, but I'll show you where I don't believe anything. So anyway, 2 weeks before, when the apartment was mostly normal, because he just dropped out of college and was tired of living with his parents. I guess they're talking about Tyler. He had been working with his dad at a stone cutting business where they'd install countertops. Tyler was kind of normal, blue collar Utah guy. Okay. And I feel like anyone could glean this from basic stuff that we've uncovered. I don't know about the stone cutting stuff, but we know that, that's kind of their business. So then it said, Mom, every time he saw her and then ranting about Republicans and Mormons, I'd sometimes talk with him for like 4 hours, just ranting. He's talking about Lance Twiggs. He really hates Mormons. See, I find that odd to say. I mean, it could be true, but I've never met anyone that hates Mormons, to be honest. Like, I think Mormons are the most unassuming of a lot of the religions. Like they're not told to go knock on your doors and bother other people and to spread their message. They are very, they seem to believe what they believe. And I don't know. I just don't. I don't buy like a hatred towards Mormons. Like I really don't. It's possible, but also at that time politically, Lance and I would both probably describe ourselves as libertarian, and Tyler was very apolitical. Now, if this is fake, this kind of supports what we're going to see in the Discord messages, because the Discord messages, the ones that we have, don't really support the narrative at all. But this is kind of, giving you some background, and it's how you would tell a story, right? And that's what makes me like really suspect of these. And so this is just a person that's sending these messages to a YouTuber, Turkey Tom. Turkey Tom doesn't seem to be asking anything. This person is just continuing to send messages and messages. So, but it was kind of relieving not to see him so much trash laying around. I guess he cleaned the house. We weren't allowed to toss even the most mundane trash like napkins and Taco Bell sauce packets, which entire drawer of. Seeing all the cans and bottles disappear was super nice. So he's talking about like he went out of his manic state or whatever and then cleaned up the apartment. We'd have a mostly weekly magic night at the apartment where everyone would come drink, get high, and play magic. Lance started attending again after he became mostly normal. So I don't know if I have all the text messages here, but this is... So Magic the Gathering, I know that people do gather and play it and whatever. It's like a nerd thing. They do it. It's definitely a realistic thing that could happen. But then he's saying Lance started attending again. Wasn't it at Lance's house? And mind you, I also don't believe that Tyler lived there because Tyler, none of the Lance's neighbors knew Tyler. None of them knew his car. Everyone from Tyler's neighborhood like thought he still lived there. So Lance started attending after it became mostly normal. So where was Lance like when you were having the Magic Gathering parties at his house? He was like up in the bedroom. Like, what? So this is the part, and it's going to put it more in context when you actually see the stuff that they were writing online at this time. But he's saying it became very uncomfortable for me because I don't think of myself as homophobic. Seeing two dudes constantly make out was a bit much. Now, in the course of these text messages, he kind of explains that, oh, Tyler, he thinks he was a virgin, and Lance would get drunk and cuddly, and they think that that's probably how something happened. Which, yeah, if you want to tell the story, yes, okay, you just fit the pieces together. And that's why I feel like it's more of a person trying to like fit a story together based on the stuff that we know, rather than actually revealing anything new. I don't think, based on text, based on Discord messages that we will see shortly, that people are going to go from saying homophobic stuff on Discord to a few months later being openly making out with another guy in front of other people. And I can tell you from firsthand knowledge, even if these were gay friends, two people making out when you're hanging out with other people, it's uncomfortable. It's not really acceptable. It's not acceptable behavior. So for them, if they both grew up in a conservative household, they're not going to be out and open up about it after being a certain way their entire life. Like these kind of people, it would take some time. So it just, and then the bottom part. And so this series of texts, like they're really getting into it, like to try to make the point that yes, they were a couple. Also, since Lance's room was always super messy, so they'd hang out in Tyler's room, and I think he said something like, and they used to bang in Tyler's room. Oh yeah, they'd bang in Tyler's room, and I didn't like hearing it. All right, so that right there. So they invited friends over and then went into the room and banged so everybody could hear it. Like, that's not reality. That's not reality at all. Like, this series of messages, I just, they had me going a little bit, but this one is just like, it's not realistic. If they were going to, I mean, I don't think I've ever been at anyone's house ever where they invited me over. And it's not like it's a big, huge house. It's a townhouse. So it's like, you have a coffee table that you're all playing at, like 6 people, 7 people at the most. and you and the guy that you live with, you're gonna be like, we're gonna go upstairs and bang while the rest of you are here downstairs. It's not reality. It's not how the world works. It's bizarre. So I don't really buy these texts. So then we have this, which is allegedly, this is like the kind of messes that Lance would put everywhere. Like it's science experiment type stuff and nobody could touch it because he was manic. Sure. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. Like this was his experiment. Okay. He started yelling at me that Nikola Tesla was abused by the people in his time and that no one we knew was smart enough to solve that equation, including me, because he is way smarter than me. This is all in weird, broken up sentences too. Definitely added to the creepy factor. Like these messages are like trashing Lance and kind of protecting Tyler, sort of, because it kind of makes Tyler out to be like, oh, he was just nobody. Like he was just quiet, and except when he would bang a guy when he had people over and make out with them constantly in front of people. But he was just very quiet and reserved and apolitical. But he did make out with men in front of straight men and banged people when he invited people over. Like what? After talking to another friend, apparently right after he did the shooting, he joined a bunch of different Discord calls asking if anyone had seen the news while breathing heavily. And literally the next day he was in a call just chatting with people in a call while playing one of his puzzle games. Okay. I mean, and also for the record, Tyler 100% calls Lance my love when they're talking alone. See this message right here. This makes me think it's the same person that wrote those stupid text messages defending their stupid text messages. Because my love. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Especially when we look at the Discord messages to see like what their mentality really was. All right. So this is, how do I get that part off the bottom? So Flux-a-lot is Lancelot. And so this is the part, all these question marks, that was in the text messages. So that these Discord messages actually do kind of support the text. He does put a bunch of question marks. But he's putting a bunch of question marks for someone saying femboy hypnosis is finally working, which if you were trans, I mean, it was a few years ago, but I don't think you'd be that confused about that sentence. Someone's calling him a furry, and this country is going to shit. I told someone I wasn't going to watch their effing anime one time and got called goddamn furry. So, like, because he told someone he wasn't going to watch their anime, they're calling him out for being a furry. They said it like a million times. I mean, is this where the furry stuff came from? I think so. Because I don't, there hasn't been much evidence of anything else besides these. This is Lance saying, I don't know what these images are, but he's proving that being black is a myth, whatever the hell that means. That's not something a far left person would ever say. I mean, also, now I can call you libtard, shaking my head left. This is Lance, allegedly the trans person, calling people libtards. So, are you guys buying this stuff still? So it says my brother had an accidental discharge and shot a hole in the wall. I mean, it is what it is. So this is the good one, because this is July 13th, 2024. So about a year, a little more than a year prior to Charlie Kirk's shooting, a year prior to when he's banging his roommate while people are visiting his house and making out with him in front of everybody. He says, snowflake liberals can't shoot straight because they're too busy being gay. And he was responding to the assassination attempt on Trump. So you're going to tell me that this person that's saying snowflake liberals can't shoot straight because they're too busy being gay, this guy is popping his roommate and writing stuff like this on the internet is popping his male roommate. Come on, guys. And it's like, I don't know. And if you think about the inscriptions on the casings, one of them did say, if you read this, you are gay. So I don't even know what to make of it. Except that he does not appear to be someone that is banging a male roommate. I mean, maybe it transpired after that. And I think that's what the messages to the Tom Turkey guy are supposed to explain this change, because it was a sudden change that all of a sudden, like, they moved in together and Lance gets cuddly when he drinks and Tyler was a virgin and they just started banging. And they were so comfortable with it that they would invite a house full of people over and bang so that everyone could listen. And they even left a condom on the counter, a condom with like nothing in it. But that was like proof that something was going on. There was like a picture of a condom on a counter. And I think Tom Turkey said because it's the same finish of the counters and the real estate photos, it must be that counter. But I mean, Lance still has his apartment. The feds probably still have control of that place. They can stage it as however they want. This is interesting because he is listed in all of his charging documents as being 5'10", 72 inches. I'm 72 inches. 6 feet tall. So if he was 70 inches, that would be 5'10". So he's definitely bigger than 70 inches. You know, he might have his shoes on. I don't think he would have shoes on, though, because he's wearing the turtle suit. So I would think that he doesn't have shoes on. But he appears to be 6 feet. But his charging document says that he's 5'10". I mean, maybe he has heels on. I don't know. Maybe. And Lance Twiggs. Oh, another thing about Lance Twiggs, that in those messages with Tom the Turkey, one of the comments is talking about Lance Twiggs transitioning. And he's like, yeah, all he ever did was grow out his hair and wear mascara every once in a while. I don't think he did anything else. But then I think there was a message that he was trying to grow breasts or something. It just seems so fake. I mean, my fake alarm is like really going off. Like, this is him winning an award for, like, I think he was like a piano player or something. And like, some of it might be true. Like Magic the Gathering, I feel like that is exactly who I would think that Lance and Tyler are people that would have a Magic the Gathering party every week and have a bunch of friends over and nerd out. Like, that's exactly who I think that they could be. But the turn from that into like, there's just no evidence that like they were even that political or that mad about anything. If anything, they didn't like liberals. So I don't know. It's interesting though. I don't know what to make of it, except that I just don't believe anything that they're telling us. And like, my big thing now that I'm starting to like really look at, because I've never been one to, I don't know, like, I don't have ballistic experience or anything, but I'm really looking at these damn pictures. And it's really, so if you think about like, if he was shot, so like how Mikey McCoy called Erica and said he was shot. How that other guy said, oh, I think Charlie is dead. How are you saying that when you ran before he even fell off the chair? You know, like, I mean, it wasn't like, yeah, you see blood. I don't know what that came from, though. You don't know if it's like a pellet gun or whatever, a real gun. I mean, I wouldn't think it was a real gun if I didn't see things splatter everywhere. So it's just strange that they're all like saying he's dead, like right away. Mikey McCoy's making those calls right away. But like his necklace jumping up, whatever the hell is going on here, it doesn't make sense to me. It would make sense that, because I think supposedly it broke. But like, why would it even break? Like, if there's cavitation, the neck would have expanded enough to break it. But the necklace was a long, dangly thing. It wasn't like a necklace that was tied to his neck. And so in that case, if it was a necklace that was tied to his neck, the cavitation probably would have snapped it. But if it's not tight to his neck, why did it even break? It doesn't make sense. I mean, people try to say it's the cavitation. I don't think I've heard a good explanation about that. I don't understand why it's jumping up through his shirt like that. Like, he didn't move that much. Like, there's a lot of videos where you can see him get hit. I mean, he barely moves back. So like, I could see if his neck moved back rapidly, like the dangly part or the heavy part of the necklace got left behind, but it's jumping up. Why is it jumping up? I don't know. I don't know why it's jumping up. I don't know if anyone... I don't know. I can't make sense of it. And I keep going back to how Trump was bragging that he made Netanyahu all kinds of crazy weapons that he never heard of, but he just made them for him. And like, I think that from what I've heard, they went after like people that were speaking. That was the main people that they went after in Gaza, and like reporters or people on TikTok, whatever. And they went about it a whole bunch of different ways. Sometimes they did a regular attack on their house or whatever, but sometimes it was explosive devices. It was stuff like that. And I don't know what it could be. I don't know why he wouldn't know that wasn't on him. On the video, you can hear the guy tell someone he's on the roof. Which video are we speaking of? A guy walking up, the military guy, says he's on the roof. It's the only person that's seen him on the roof. I don't think anyone else saw the guy. But yeah, and then the other big thing we had this week was the Google searches. Now, the Google search thing, I think his name is Baron Coleman or something. He was just looking up Google searches. Now, what I will say with that, the way that he's doing it, those charts, the Google Analytic charts, those are business intelligence. They're probably set where there's a certain amount of data or it's going to come up blank. There's all kinds of finicky things in there, and that would be why you might get a result one time and not another time. But I believe that there's underlying data there. I don't think that a chart is just going to produce a result with no data. That's not how those charts work. It's just that sometimes the data is so small. They probably do have like a limit on it where it's like, if it's under 5, just say nothing. Or like only report if it's over 3 or whatever. There probably are limits there. So that chart can be simple, because it's a simple, small chart, but there's deeper data that drives those charts. And I think that's what I would be interested in. So I was kind of Googling the same stuff that they were Googling, looking at the analytics, trying to understand, like, is it accurate? What can I look up? So I looked up my own name, first, middle, and last name, because that was the big one that they said, Tyler James Robinson. That was looked up the day before the shooting by people in Washington, D.C. So I was like, I wonder if anyone has looked up my name. And so what I found was that in Clarksburg or West Virginia, I got some hits on my name on September 25th. And mind you, this was around the time when my TikTok first one got deleted, or I was at least flagged at that point. I don't think it got deleted till a few days later, but I mean, I didn't record it. But I can look at what videos I was making at the time because I know when I started to get into trouble. And I started to get into trouble as soon as I started to talk about the person we talked a lot about today. So Clarksburg, West Virginia, I was like, well, I don't know anyone there. Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. But wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? Clarksburg is the location of the FBI's Criminal Justice Information Services Division, which is the central repository for a wide range of criminal justice data in the United States. The division provides services to law enforcement agencies and the public, including the management of the Next Generation Identification System. I don't even know what that is, for fingerprinted biometric data, and the National Crime Information Center, and the Uniform Crime Reporting Program. The CJIS division also handles public tips, background checks, and criminal history reports. So that's who was looking up my name on September 25th. Is it because of my videos? Is it because I did make a purchase that could trigger a background check, but that wasn't until later. That purchase wasn't made until September 29th. So I don't know. So that's interesting. So I think that everyone should check out the Google Analytics and see who's been looking them up. I mean, I think for the most part, I don't know what's going on. Like, I think that there is surveillance going on in this country, like heavy surveillance with social media, with everything. I think, the level of corruption I think it's everywhere, is skyrocketing at this point. But it's interesting. Clarksburg is where background checks flow through, federal background checks. So whatever you want to do with that information, it's definitely interesting. There was something else. So I think that's really the main stuff that's come out this week. I mean, I feel like Candace Owens. Oh. The other big thing. The reason why we didn't see Charlie Kirk getting buried is because he was buried at a Catholic church and he doesn't want the evangelicals to find out because they don't want to stop their funding. They don't want to stop the donations. I don't know if that's true. I feel like just tell the goddamn truth. Like, it's so crazy. Like, that's what makes me think that everything could be fake. If he did get buried at a Catholic church, I don't know. Just everything just seems so fake. I don't understand why that would be like a big mystery if he was buried at a Catholic church, but apparently the donors wouldn't like it. I mean, I don't know. I grew up Catholic, so I don't understand what the problem is with Catholics. But when I first moved down to the South, I would see signs like people would be holding like any kind of Christmas ceremony. Like, these people are everywhere. any kind of group thing, people will hold in the signs, and the sign would say, all of you people are going to hell for eternity or whatever. And it would be like fornicators, pornogrators, whatever the hell it is. It would just list up a bunch of things like homosexuals, the usual suspects. But Catholics was one of them on that list. And I'm like, Catholics are also Christian. I still don't know what the difference is. Like, I mean, I know what Catholics do because I was part of that, but I don't understand why that would be adversarial to Christians. I thought it was the same thing, like they may say different prayers, but it's kind of the same thing, right? They believe the same story. So why would they be so against it? I don't know. But maybe they are, and maybe that's why it had to be hidden. But then it's like, well, what else did he hide? Right? Because he did talk about his faith a lot. And I think that that's how he connected to people, was being kind of authentic or at least appeared that way. So why would you need to hide that? I mean, we have the one picture of them at their wedding, which is doesn't seem too cozy. It doesn't seem too I don't know what picture that is. Let me see this real quick. Oh yeah, and then we had these fake ass pictures of his parents. So that's Charlie Kirk, his younger sister, and allegedly his mother and his father. But there's all these like AI generated images of his parents crying, which don't appear to be true. But it's like, why is Facebook all AI now? I'm Protestant. Yes, we believe the same things. We just celebrate them differently. Fundamentals. Yeah, that's what I always thought too. Fundamentals are the same. Like, what is the big deal? What is the difference? But I don't know. None of this is adding up. I don't understand people's motivation to lie. I don't understand, like, if I was a member of a company or something, and I mean, it could be the people that are up above in the company telling you not to say anything, not to talk about things, not to disclose the information, which I'm sure they are. But then to hear those same people go on Twitter and say some nonsense that makes no sense, like Andrew Covett comes out and says, "Oh yeah, the bullet was right beneath the skin. You just have to have faith." I know it doesn't make any sense, but he had a neck of steel. And then to defend Mikey McCoy, the only thing he's going to say is, "Oh, if you're asking questions, you're a bad person." Oh, that's interesting. So like the body of Christ. I thought everyone did that. I didn't know the Catholics were the only ones that did that. I feel like it's not that. I mean, if I went to a different church, I guess, I don't know. I've only been to Catholic churches, so I guess I don't know. But it is like, I've seen other churches on TV and I'm like, what is that? Because it doesn't even look like a church. That's the part that I don't like about, some of these pastors, like with their pulpits. It's like, it looks like it's just a room at the VFW. It doesn't look like a church at all. And I don't like that. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's weird. But like a Catholic church, it's like you can see like the history. I don't know. It's totally different from the perspective of a mass, I guess. But from the general beliefs, I don't understand why it's different. but I also wouldn't like go out of my way to kill myself, like to try to, I don't know. I remember there was like when my mom was like sick, people were coming to her, and I forget what it was. There was all kinds of crazy stuff. Not crazy, but like there was all kinds of stuff that I didn't understand what, like the 6th or something. Like, I don't know. It's like you say prayers or something and it's supposed to like, I don't know. Is it supposed to forgive your sins or something? But I don't know. So now we're living in the age of whatever TPUSA is. I mean, they are so harping on the message of Charlie was martyred and this is a wake-up call and you need to join and give me money now. And it's so unsettling because I don't know. It's just the way that they're going about it. It's I've never seen anything like it. And they were doing that within days, including his wife. And it just doesn't seem right. Because, yeah, maybe his message was, I don't even think his message was to convert people to anything, because he spoke openly about different beliefs within the Christian faith and he was fine with it. Like he seemed to be educated on it. So like, it's not like he was trying to force people to believe what he believed. He would argue and say he would use scripture to argue his point sometimes, but that's not converting people. That's not preaching gospel. And like, that's kind of what Turning Point is trying to say it is. Like, Turning Point existed before Turning Point Faith. Turning Point Faith was in 2021 after Turning Point took off. So Charlie Kirk's initial motive to start with Turning Point was based on the culture war issues. It wasn't until later that, the faith part got involved. And the faith part seems to have taken it over. I mean, I was looking through Turning Point USA's website, trying to see like who was on the list, right? Like who's on their board of directors, who's this and that. I didn't see. And this is $150 million company, mind you. $150 million company that I don't even know what they do. I mean, they go to college campuses and talk to kids. So their website has Candace Owens as one of the, I don't know, she's on it, like as the leader of Brexit or something. But there's no Mikey McCoy. There's no Rob McCoy. And Mikey McCoy, I was looking for, what did he say he was? Chair, CEO, staff, coordinator, staff, chief of staff. There was no position of chief of staff. There was no Mikey McCoy there. I looked through and I was trying to look for Rob McCoy. I don't see him there either. But then Candace Owens is there. This is a $150 million company. This is a company that is bringing in, when Charlie Kirk was killed, brought in $4 million in donations right away. And they're not even up to date on who runs the company and who does what at that company that people just gave $4 million to. Like, that's insane. It really is. And it, like, to me, it just tells me that the people giving the money don't give a shit what really is going on at the company, as long as like their issues are being pushed. And that's what it seems like. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I think that they say it's all about the Christian faith. I don't think it is at all. Like I feel like it's like the government and people have infiltrated the Christian faith, and that is evident. And I think we've seen that in the churches too, like the mega churches and stuff. Like they're not doing anything that Jesus wanted them to do. I mean, maybe they are raising money and they are helping raise money for some families in need, which is what churches should do. But if you have a $7 million house, that's definitely not what Jesus would do. So it does seem like the religion has been infiltrated and it's being used to control people, and maybe that's what it was always for. I mean, who knows, like when people decided to use certain scriptures to control groups of people, I mean, they all came from the same book, like Islam, Judaism, and then Christianity came later. But it's basically the same books, right? The same kind of thing. Different family members or something. Like, are there any photos of him as a youngster with his family? I've never seen any young photos of him. So I think that he was, I think they had to keep things so secret that I don't even think him and Erica's relationship was real. I was going to try to get a marriage certificate, because allegedly they were married in Maricopa County in Arizona, and so I was going to try to get the marriage certificate. I stopped because I'm afraid that that's going to make me a target, because you have to put your name and your address and all. I don't know. It's just so strange. Like, I honestly feel like if this is Charlie Kirk's family, maybe it is, that what the position they were putting him in, they knew all along that it was like a dangerous, culture war with the young kids issue. They knew that it was dangerous. And so they created like this fake life on Instagram to present to the public, to be like, we have this traditional life and this is my wife that's submissive to me, even though she's not submissive at all. And was it all just fake? And did he just want an out? Did he just want to stop living this fake life? And maybe he wanted to go live a real life. He was only 31. He had plenty of time. But then what was Erica's whole motivation? I mean, maybe it was to get married and have kids. I just don't understand why she, like, what were her boyfriends before him? Like, why did she choose him? Were they like pushed together? Was it arranged? It does seem like it was. I mean, and then, the whole fact of she's supposed to be like an evangelical Christian. She should have been married at 20. And she was 5 years older than him, like 30 something years old when she got married to him. She was not pursuing a traditional life at all. She was pursuing a Miss America pageant. She was pursuing a charity. She was, doing modeling shoots. She was doing music videos. She was doing everything except becoming a traditional wife. She was on Southern Charm. Yeah. I mean, she was doing everything to live like, the spoils of, whatever they call it now, like how everyone's so like Instagram and so like shallow. She was living that life. And then suddenly she like married Charlie and became this traditional wife. Like, it's just not reality. And people want to believe it. So like they do. They don't question it. They don't want to question it. It's just weird. Everything about this is weird. But, and I think that, I don't know. I just think they're all going to get away with it. I don't think there's I just don't understand what our government's going to say. They're just going to say nothing. I don't understand, how they're not looking into this company. What, just because they're going to do the second Super Bowl and support this administration, they get to get away with everything? Like, I don't know. I don't know who's calling the shots. I don't know who's in control, pulling the strings. But Erica, she is just way too opportunistic.
What Turning Point USA is all about. This is what the future of our country is all about. And I want to thank you all also on a personal level for all of your prayers and all of your support, not only for our family, but for the Turning Point USA family, which includes all of you, especially those that are students, a part of the Turning Point USA chapter at Ole Miss. So I love you guys, truly. This whole, you guys have no idea how helpful it is to have all of you in my life, because you help me feel even more deeply connected to my husband. And I thank you for that. I thank all of you for that. That was a pulse point for him. And being on campus right now for me is a spiritual reclaiming of territory. And let me explain that, because there is a lot of symbolism in today. It's Wednesday, 7 weeks. There is a lot of symbolism in today. It's Wednesday, 7 weeks. And the more that I'm coming to grips with the permanency of this nightmare, the more that I'm starting to realize and witness that the enemy, he doesn't want you. He wants your territory. He wants your influence. And when our team asked my dear friend, Vice President J.D. Vance, to speak today, I really prayed on it, because obviously it's a very emotional day. But I could just hear Charlie in my heart. I could just hear him say, go reclaim that territory, babe. Go.
Go get it.
The battle's already won. God's love conquers. And that's why I'm here today. I'm here because this moment, it can either be your breaking point or your wake-up call, essentially your turning point, if you will. And at this moment, every single one of us has a choice to make, whether we stand for freedom or we're just gonna fall for everything else.
Stand for freedom. What? I mean, what do you mean? I mean, okay, you could say that if, I guess she's thinking that he was killed by like some crazy furry, but in reality, what freedom? I mean, it seems like there was a hostile takeover and he was ousted by the people beneath him. That has nothing to do with freedom. That has to do with trusting the wrong people.
But I want to encourage you, especially the students here, find your voice. You are the courageous generation. That's what you are. All of you. Gen Z, you are the courageous generation.
Well, by all accounts, Gen Z is the one that unalived Charlie Kirk, right? I mean, I don't even think, according to the main narrative, it was Gen Z that did it. So I guess she's calling them courageous.
Hear me when I say that. My husband believed that to his core. That's why he went on campuses. That's why he was trying to reach you. You are the courageous generation. Own it. Make him proud. I don't know if you guys saw what happened earlier this week with Governor Ron DeSantis, which is amazing. I want to give him a massive shout out, because he said, we're announcing a partnership with Turning Point USA. We want to make sure that all high schools in Florida, anybody in a high school that wants to start a Club America chapter, will be able to do that. There will be no impediments to that, and certainly.
So this is my major problem with this Club America type of stuff, is that they are co-opting what the fuck America means. Like, you shouldn't be able to call yourself Club America and then talk about all divisive shit that like is against half of Americans, right? Like, and I think that's where things have gotten so screwed up in this country, is that when certain people see the American flag or someone dressed in the American flag, they take it as, you know, it's someone that's going to be racist or homophobic or whatever. because the image of America has been co-opted by these people. And it's crazy. It's crazy that you can call something Club America. And then, I mean, just imagine if like illegal immigrants started a club that was called Club America, and it was about how awful white Americans were. Like, just think about if someone else tried to claim America. And America is a country of immigrants. I mean, everyone came here, right? So I don't know. It's wild because, like, if you don't know what they're doing, it's like Club America. Like, who could have a problem with that, right? Club America. Everyone cares about America. We live in America. So, like, Club America. Sure. Why not? But it's not for everyone. And that's the problem at all. I mean, I don't even think, if Charlie Kirk had a lie about being buried at a Catholic church, Club America certainly isn't for everybody. It's not even for all Christians. So I think we need to, they're going to be allowed to do it, but I just think it's a really awful thing to be co-opting something that's supposed to be unifying. We're supposed to be the United States of America. We should not have Club America that is purposely divisive. Oh, I did see the video of him shitting on the protesters, and it was Harry Sisson. I mean, it has to be, he has to have interns that are doing that. I hope that know Harry, that don't like him, and that's probably why he did it. I can't imagine that. I don't even think Trump would know how to create that. But this kind of rhetoric is bad too. It's like we're letting people, and it could be AI. It could be like, there could be automatic bots running their accounts. I mean, I've looked into doing that. I just don't know if the AI is going to go off the hook and say some crazy shit and get me like jailed or something. Right? Because they kind of generally know, like, if you talk to ChatGPT a lot, it kind of knows what you think about everything. So it can make comments, but I don't know if I want it to be exactly like me either. Like, can it be enticed? Can it be provoked and act in an aggressive way? Because I know as a person I can, but if you're using AI, does it also copy that characteristic of you? And I know that our phone does know everything. I mean, especially like Facebook just feels so corrupt to me. That's why I don't understand how Meta is still doing well, because Facebook just seems so shitty. Like, the information, the articles, like, everything is clickbait. Nothing is real. There's all kinds of fake AI all over the place. And people are living in that world. Like, I've spoken to a few people that I grew up with and that are just like, everything's fake now. And so they just give up. Like, they don't think the news is real at all. And it's because they're on Facebook. That's their social media. And Facebook is so bad with, like, just everything's fake. And I mean, even on my account, and my account should know that I care about, like, real legitimate news sources, right? But it's like, I'm seeing all that stuff. So imagine the people that have no discernment, like, what they're seeing, what they believe. It's actually crazy. And it's being used against us right now. It's being used to, silence certain voices, to prop up other people, to hide certain opinions, to hide truth. And there's just going to be a few people trying to tell the truth. And that's why I'm like, should I even be talking about this anymore? So my show, I'm trying to think about, like, what I should actually talk about, because I think I'm being silenced on this subject. So I'm not getting a lot of views. But I think if I, start talking about something else that's not, not something that's not allowed to be talked about, then, I'll reach a bigger audience. I can still weave in the subject matter. I can still do deep dive, like, live streams on this. But I think for my channel in general, or to even, like, help people see more truth, I have to talk about less controversial subjects. Because I want people to know about, you know, other stuff that's going on too. There's so much stuff going on right now. I mean, I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens if SNAP benefits are really really not going to happen. I mean, it's crazy. It doesn't affect me, but I don't understand like what your goal is in that. I don't understand why you would ever want to do that. Like, it's not going to go well unless you just want you want crime and stuff to happen. Like, that's the only reason you would do something like that. Because I mean, if I see someone stealing food, no, I didn't. I think that we're going to see a lot of people compelled to help people. That could be the goal. And maybe that's the goal, is to get rid of SNAP benefits altogether and say, look, the communities took care of it, so we actually don't need this federal program anymore. Maybe that's the goal. Oh, the churches can do it. There's other ways that people can get food, and they need to like figure out how to get it. I have no idea. But I don't think that 20 million children should go hungry, especially when we're trying to force people to have babies. I think we need to make sure that we can feed the babies that we do have before we start forcing people to have more babies, right? But I digress. But we'll see what happens and what comes out of this case in the next few days. I'm going to try to think about what else I can cover. There's a lot that I can cover. But I really want to cover stuff that is important right now, and that, you know, people aren't hearing a real perspective on. And I think there's a lot of subjects that people aren't hearing a real perspective on. I think that, you know, you'll hear like, I am inundated with right-wing media just because I'm following this case right now. So I'm like, my reality is kind of skewed in a way. But I think that people need to understand that if you do put yourself in one of those lanes, because the algorithms are asking for it, right? Like, they know. I don't think there's a lot of people that do listen to like people on both ends. And that's a problem, because there's two groups of people living in completely two different realities, and think certain things are the enemy or evil. They have two different sets of devils. You know, it's not right. Like, that's not the United States of America. That's not how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be working through, you know, different things, hearing both sides. But the way that people are vilifying certain beliefs, where it's like, you can't even have that belief, or you are not a Christian, or you are not this, or you're not that. And they do it for every group of people. And I think that we really need to call it out and start understanding it. I don't know what Gen Z actually believes. I do worry about them, because they grew up in an age where everything's always been online. I think like my generation, millennials, pretty much through high school, things were like the old way. After high school, after 9/11, that's when things started to get digitalized, where we started having cell phones and stuff. But Gen Z has only ever experienced propaganda and like all this fake shit. So they have problems. That generation has a lot of problems. I think even my generation has a lot of problems. My generation didn't have babies either, compared to like past generations. But Gen Z is really they're not even smashing. So like, I don't know. I think it's because the phone and the fake world of the digital media, social media, and video games and corn, like, there's a fake reality that you can just live in. And I think that's what they're choosing. I don't think they're comfortable in the real reality. And that's a problem. I don't know how you fix it. Maybe just in China, TikTok, I can't remember what the rule was, but in China, TikTok was managed. The government says that you can't use it for more than a certain amount of hours a day, or there are certain hours where it's not, you can't scroll in it, because they know how addictive it is. I think we have a lot of addictive things on our phones in a palm of our hand, and that's where everyone's attention's being drawn to whatever it is, and it's people are like missing out on life. People are missing out on the world, and it sucks. And I don't know what it's going to take for people to wake up, because these social media people, these everyone in that space is making a shit ton of money, because our attention is the new currency. It's like, who can hold attention? Like my YouTube video, how long can I get people to watch this? I'm not media trained. I don't have a lot of things. So like people that stick with my content, it's more authentic, or it's because they like what I'm saying. It's not because of production values or because there's a known name. So I think that's the big difference. Like if you look at Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson, you know, all these people that were on mainstream media that are now not, they're very media savvy. They know, they have editors, they have professionals, and you know, they probably work with teleprompters, and they come off as very strong. It almost seems like the real media. And so they have some authority because of that. But I think that's going to be the new norm, because things cannot be trusted. I just don't know how long YouTube is going to last being, I mean, I do think certain things get flagged, but I mean, YouTube is our last hope for free speech, I think. Twitter, X is not. I'm getting like 2 views. I have 2,000 followers. I usually get a decent amount of views, but anything on Charlie Kirk, nope, like 2 views. Like, it's frustrating. I wonder if there's another case I could talk about. I don't even know if I want to talk about bad stuff though. You know, I feel like even this case, it's putting more negativity into the world, but I also feel like people believing a false narrative is worse. So I don't know, maybe people will come clean and someone's going to come forward and say, you know what, this is what happened. We did it because we wanted to take over Turning Point. I don't know. All of the free speech absolutists are the ones banning speech. I mean, I do think there are some that have seen the error of their ways, but there's certain people that I'm losing faith in completely. But yeah, I mean, I think that we're seeing that a lot of people don't actually care about free speech. And maybe I didn't notice it. I mean, I got canceled during the George Floyd thing for saying, I don't even know what I said. I didn't say anything to do with that, but someone brought up a personal Snapchat where I was making a joke and took it out of context and tried to get me canceled, and it almost worked. I had some cleanup to do, but people have tried to cancel me over Karen Reed for speaking the truth on that. And then the government is trying to cancel me for speaking the truth on this. So, I mean, we just hate the truth in this country. I mean, there's just people, that's the problem, is like people that don't want to hear the truth will just mass report. And it is so easy to launch a mob of mouth breathers on anybody and say like, this person said this, to clip me and say, oh, this person is advocating for X, Y, and Z. Go report him. And then the horde comes in, reports you. Then you're at least shadow banned. Maybe your video gets taken down. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. But until next time, take care of yourself and each other. And remember, Karen Reed might have gotten away with it, but we all know. We know.
And she said, I'm afraid John might be dead. He might have gotten hit by a plow.
He didn't look mortally wounded as far as I could see, but could I have done something that knocked him out, and in drunkenness and in the cold, didn't come to again.
The injuries to Mr. O'Keefe were primarily on the right side of his body, correct?
Correct.
Said, Dad, I think I struck something.
There was bruising to his right hand. Do you recall that?
Yes.
If I enlarge that, it kind of looks like a paw print bruise to me. I mean, tell me if I'm crazy. And I don't know if it's possible to bruise post-mortem.
No, it's not.
Exactly like a dog print.
So there were injuries to his right arm and forearm, elbow area, correct?
Correct.
Those are clearly lacerations, not abrasions. We all know what an abrasion looks like. It's insulting to us to suggest that those are abrasions.
Would you describe the injuries to Officer O'Keefe's right forearm as lacerations or abrasions?
Those are abrasions.
Those are abrasions?
Yeah.
Glass from this broken taillight could cause linear abrasions.
That probably, yes, I agree.
Okay.
I remember there was one piece of metal sort of sticking out.
If they are trying to claim that Officer O'Keefe was run over by this car, there would be evidence of that on his clothing.
Shards of that broken taillight were littered in his sweaters.
I did not know that.
When's the first time you learned of that?
Right now.
She said, what about my taillight? What about my taillight? And I looked, and there was a piece missing.
I called my father. He didn't answer, and I texted him, John is dead.
I remember, all right, backing up and hitting something.
You told me you don't remember anything from last night. She said, do you think I hit him? Do you think I hit him? And I said, no, I don't think you hit him. I think you probably hit something.
There was an abrasion to the outside or the posterior of his right leg near his knee. Do you recall that?
I don't know that I recall that off the top of my head.
And do you recall sort of the skull fracture or the laceration immediately outside of the skull fracture was on sort of the right back of his head?
Yes.
Very few experts in this area in the country.
Yes, it's called the Franken truck.
It's in my head. I didn't write it down. I don't know. So the list, there was a list that I went through in my head.
You have no certifications in regard to Celebrite as a tool and how to use it, those kind of things?
That's correct, sir. I can't tell you that. I am colorblind.
No, I didn't have that.
And the defendant's vehicle was being operated in reverse.
The objection sustained. Next question.
If I've caused you any distress, I apologize.
I went through various scenarios in my head.
That body wasn't hit by my car.
That's not what you said in your affidavit that was actually filed under pains and penalties of perjury with this court, correct?
Yes, and on that day, that is what my true and proper belief was.
It's how I'm trained.
Have you shown any tech stream data, Toyota tech stream data from the defendant's vehicle?
No.
How do you know where Mr. O'Keefe's body was found? At any point in time, did you see Mr. O'Keefe's body on the front lawn?
No.
So how do you know where Mr. O'Keefe's body was found?
Through police reports, police interviews, stuff that was posted on the media.
So you've seen police reports in the media?
Well, not the police reports, I'm sorry, but what was said during on the news.
Are you aware that Celebrite has had to modify their software based on misinterpretation of data, as you've done in this case?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't recall. I don't recall.
I didn't have that.